Okay, so let's talk about what I think is the most powerful and honestly the most overlooked tool a product manager has. It's storytelling. And no, I'm not talking about fluff. I'm talking about a legit strategy to get people on board, get your team aligned, and actually make things happen when staring at a dashboard just isn't cutting it.
To really get why a spreadsheet full of data can sometimes just fall flat, we're going to walk through a real-world story. We're going to see a problem not as a number, but through the eyes of one actual person.
So, meet Angela. Picture this. She's a super busy mom, finally has a quiet moment on her commute, and she's on a mission to find that perfect birthday gift. And she finds it. You know, that moment of relief, everything is going great.
So she does all the right things. She adds it to her cart, she scans the reviews, she's confident, she's ready to buy. From our side, as the product team, this is exactly what we want to see. The funnel is working perfectly. And then, this happens. A tiny little hiccup. The app asks her to log in again right at the very last second. The page reloads, and it's like a brick wall just went up right at the finish line.
And gone. Everything in her cart just vanished. You can just feel the frustration, right? And just like that, it's not just a lost sale. You might have just lost a customer for good. Because you know she's going to buy that gift just somewhere else now.
So why did we start with that? I mean, why that little 15-second story? Because what Angela just went through does something a graph labeled cart abandonment rate could never, ever do. It makes you feel the problem. It puts a human face on a data point.
And that right there, that's the whole point. Stories are the bridge that connects the data you have to the decisions people need to make. They give you the why, they wrap that cold, hard data in an emotional context that numbers just can't provide on their own.
And this breakdown just says it all, doesn't it? Data by itself, yeah, it informs you. But when you pair that data with a story, it inspires people. It doesn't just show you what is happening, a dip in a chart. It shows you why it matters. Honestly, our brains are just wired to remember narratives. Stories stick with us long after we've forgotten the exact number on a slide.
So the payoff is huge. A really good story gets everyone, engineers, leadership, marketing, all on the same page. It gives them a real reason to care and, more importantly, to do something about it. And let's be real, in a world of back-to-back meetings, your story is the thing that cuts through all that noise.
Okay, so that all sounds good in theory, but how do you actually build one of these stories? Well, there's a really simple, super useful framework you can use. It's called PUSO.
It's pretty straightforward. First, P is for problem. You start with that real human struggle, just like Angela's. Then U is for urgency. Why do we need to fix this now? S is for solution. Okay, what are we actually building to fix it? And finally, O is for outcome. How does this make our users' life better, and what's the value for the business? Problem, urgency, solution, outcome. PUSO. Now, having a framework is one thing, but the real magic is in the delivery. A great story is never one size fits all. The best storytellers, they know their audience. They tweak the narrative to focus on what that specific group, whether it's engineers or executives, cares about the most.
And this is such a perfect example of that. Look at how Angela's story gets reframed. When you're talking to engineers, you get technical. You talk about the expired session token. But when you talk to leadership, it's all about business impact, lost revenue. And for your customer success team, you focus on that user's frustration and the very real risk of churn. It's the same core problem, the same Angela, but you're hitting 3 completely different angles to get 3 different teams to act.
So let's play this out. You're in that big meeting with the execs. You don't start with a graph. You start here. You say, meet Angela. You make them see her. You make them feel her frustration. You build that human connection first, before you show them a single number.
Then, once they're hooked on the story, that's when you hit them with the data. You reveal the true scale of the problem. Suddenly, this number has a face. It's not just an abstract metric anymore. It's 70% of our users feeling exactly like Angela.
And then you bring it home. You translate that feeling, that percentage, into the language everyone in that room understands. The bottom line. This is what it's costing us. See the sequence? Story, data, impact. That's how you get decisions made.
But let's be really clear here. Storytelling isn't some kind of magic wand. It's a tool, and you have to know when not to use it. If the site is on fire, nobody wants a heartfelt story. They want a status update, right? And in a super deep technical review, engineers might just want the specs. And this is a big one. If you don't have credible data to back up your story, it's going to feel hollow, and you could actually lose trust.
So, keeping all that in mind,
How do you actually start doing this? Because this is so much bigger than just being a better presenter. This is about being a more effective, more influential leader.
And really, this is what I want you to walk away with. The ability to craft and tell a compelling story, that's what separates the good PMs from the truly great ones. It's how you inspire your team, it's how you persuade stakeholders, and ultimately, it's how you build products that solve real human problems.
So here's my challenge to you. Before you walk into your very next meeting, just stop and ask yourself this one question. What's the story I want people to remember when they leave this room? Who is the Angela at the center of all this data? Find that person, find their story, and then tell it. I think you'll be amazed at what happens next.